Hey there, welcome to GemIIToys. Here we are once again, this time with another comparison video. We're going to be looking at Endgame Black Widow, and we are going to compare her to original Avengers Black Widow. Still holds up pretty good, I think, as well as original Captain America from the original Avengers and Civil War Captain America, as it's a very similar version to the Endgame, which we should be getting soon. Looking forward to getting that figure in the Mark 85. You know, and here in Japan we get the Marvel figures quite fast as opposed to like Star Wars. I don't know, for some reason. So I'm looking forward to that Endgame Cap and Mark 85, and then do a full comparison with all the Marvel figures. So with that said, let's just jump right into it. First up here we have Avengers Endgame Black Widow next to Civil War Captain America, standing in for the Endgame version, as I believe the stature of the figure will be pretty much identical, I think. And when you look at these two together, it makes you wonder, is the difference in height between these two actors this much? I mean, it's quite substantial. But I think they look pretty good together. I'm actually very much looking forward to the Endgame Cap. This figure still looks pretty good, but it's definitely starting to show his age. So this will give you an idea of what these two would look like together. And I think they do look pretty good. Alright, and next up we have Endgame Black Widow along with original Avengers Captain America, which technically he could be also Endgame Captain America. I still really like how this figure looks. And yeah, I still really enjoy him. I know I got him fairly recently, so that's maybe part of the reason, but really like him even though he's an older figure. Now, he's slightly shorter than the Civil War Captain America, so these two I think look a little better together for some reason. But still, the difference in height, as you can see, is quite big. Quite the difference. But I really like how these two look together. Actually, really do like it. So I might pair these two up in the DTOF. So last, on to the most interesting part. So I'm going to compare these two figures. I'm going to compare their boxes, their source material, and I'm going to compare their accessories and kind of do a little competition here. So starting with the boxes, as you can see, this is the Endgame version box. Very nice image of Black Widow with a red background. This is not an image of the figure, but it's a very nice image, and it's the slip-on cover type of box. Not too keen on, but same idea here. Nice image of Black Widow with the blue background. Now, this box here has got some nice cutouts. This one doesn't. You can see there. And let's take a look at the backs. Much nicer over here, if you ask me. Same idea here. So I think it's fair to say the best box of these two is the Endgame version. So 1 point goes to Avengers Endgame Black Widow. Next we have accessories down over here. Now the figure's got two hands for holding the two guns, so I'll show you that later. But she does come, the Endgame version that is, with 6 extra hands. And they do have the time travel GPS, if I can get it to focus. Right there. Here's one of the guns, and it comes with a magazine, and the gun is cockable. Then the two extra batons. She does have currently the two on her backpack, the shorter ones, but she comes with these two additional ones. One connected. So not a whole lot, but I don't know, I can't think of what else she would come with right now off the top of my head. Next we have the Avengers, first Avengers Black Widow accessories. So same, 6 additional hands. She currently, the figure has the 2 that are to hold the guns, and she's got one of the guns, but I got one gun here, and it's the same idea. Magazine, and the gun is cockable. It's got these gauntlets with the electric effect, as well as these 2 hands with their fisted hands with the electric effect. These 2 are to hold these little grenades, so she does come with these as well. And this gun, I guess you would call it, very large rifle Chitauri that she steals from in the first Avengers, from the Chitauri, that is. So let's see if I can get it. There we are. It's very nice, actually. So I think I really like the time travel GPS detail, and I like these batons, but I think these accessories, I don't know, it's just more to it. Got the 2 grenades, got these extra gauntlets. Yeah, the accessories are gonna go to the regular Avengers Black Widow. Next up we have the 2 figures here. I put them in a very similar pose so they compare nicely among each other. So let's start on the bottom here. So let's see here. The boot, we're looking at a very similar situation here in terms of articulation. There's basically 0 to none when it comes to ankle pivot, none whatsoever. Going up, we have a very similar situation as well. The knees articulate the same way. There's no real restrictions to the suit. However, the material on this figure, I feel, is going to be more durable. It's a little more stretchy. This one, so far, I've had no problem, but as you can see there, you know, I didn't have that knee very bent, and it's starting to show. I mean, the figure is getting older as well too, so. Then the holsters for the gun, I do like these better than these. Yeah, this looks more realistic. Going up to the belt, it's got some weathering. This one doesn't really, not that it really needs to, but it's got some nice stitching to it, as well as a couple bags there. You can kind of see there, not sure what those are. I think they're like little bags for maybe putting her grenades in. Moving up here, this is a fake zipper, not an actual zipper, so you can't zip that down. Not that you would need to, but this one does, so you can zip that down and show all that cleavage. Not that you would need to. I do like cleavages, but on an actual real woman, so I don't really need that feature too much. It's kind of fun to zip it down, but for display, I always display my figure this way, showing a little more cleavage, but not an issue to me. the fact that you can zip that down. And like I said, the choice of material, I like this better. It's got some nicer detail. You can see all the little detail there. You don't have so much here. Not sure if the actual suit had more detail or not. I haven't seen the original Avengers in a little while, so. And then I'm moving up to facial likeness. I think this is pretty much a no-brainer. This face sculpt, I like it. I mean, it doesn't look bad, but it doesn't look like Scarlet as much. She looks like she's wearing more makeup. She does have the shiny lips, like this one. I just see Scarlett Johansson so much more here. So much more. Take a little bit of a look around. Now the other thing here is we have rooted hair. As you can see here, I've tried to keep mine. I haven't done much to mine. Oh, actually, you know what? I did run some conditioner through it. Yeah, so maybe that's why it still looks fairly decent. But it's a major pain to handle or make it look right. Doesn't look bad though right now. Now another thing to point out real quick is, as you can see, it's a, once again, very nice head sculpt for the time. But one thing that always bothered me about this figure is the eye. Actually, her left eye seems to always be looking a little bit more up. I'm not sure if the camera can appreciate that or not, but slightly a little more up. Always bothered me. Over here you don't have that problem. This one just looks like she's just got a much worse attitude than this one. She looks more kind. But also, maybe this one is a little better for posing. It's not as poker face as this. And here we're taking a look at both of their profiles. That looks more like Scarlett Johansson than this to me. It's more doll-like, this figure. It's nice, but more like a doll. And notice also the difference in skin color. Not sure which one is more accurate, but I'm leaning towards the more pale of the two. I also like this shoulder pad, extra piece there with all that detail. Here she's got her shield emblem, which is nice too, but just not as nice. Now bases, we're looking at the Avengers Endgame base right here. It's got a nice texture right here. You can feel the Avengers logo print out. Real nice. I like it. It's the standard Hot Toys base currently, especially for Marvel figures, I think. Very much like this. Some Star Wars figures have these type of bases, but I like them. They don't take a whole lot of space, and they're nice. And it's got the printout of Black Widow, and over here the old style, old school Hot Toys base, just with a basic printout of Avengers and Black Widow printout in the front. So clearly I think the better base is this one over here, the Endgame version, as well as the stand. It's a nice, and both have the same idea, crotch grabber. So I have these two posed in a very similar way. Once again, I did notice this suit is a little bit more restrictive of articulation, but you can pretty much get the same poses out of both. This one seemed a little bit easier, pulling those arms up. Now, another thing that's interesting, I think, is, see if I can get to focus here, the hands are, this is a smaller figure, and yet the hands are thicker than this one. These are more feminine hands, so I definitely would give points to this figure for the thinner hands. See if I can get it to focus. Jeez, wants to focus on her face. Let's see. Can we get it? Can we get it? Yes, there we are. You can see there. Thinner hands, so definitely that I like better on this figure than thinner fingers. Sorry. Well, I guess hands too, but the fingers is what I'm talking about. You can see here, a little thicker, a little too thick for a woman, I think. So that's another thing to point out. So take a look here and rotate around. I will be making a music showcase video of these two figures together, so stay tuned for that, as well as the Mandalorian music showcase video. That's going to be real exciting for me, at least, that's for sure. And real quick, before we wrap up this video, I wanted to show you what their backs look like. Backs and butts. So let's take a look over here. Once again, we're looking more at this one here. Is not bad, but the endgame version just looks more like there's a real person inside that suit. So real quick, the hair, nice detail there. Very, very nice sculpted hair. And the rooted hair, nice and shiny, because I conditioned it. But this can get real messy if you don't take proper care. I'm not sure why there's such a height difference, but there is definitely a noticeable height difference between these two, as you can see. So for the final section, let's take a look at them once again. Similar pose. I really like this figure, and this is the first figure really that turned me on to Hot Toys. The head sculpt I thought was amazing. So this figure will always take or have a special place in my heart, but I think this one, you know, because of the innovations in technology and such, Hot Toys has gotten better at their craft, and the winner is definitely the endgame version. The articulation on this figure too has gotten loose over time, but you know, I'm sure it was much better when I first got it. But there you have it. If you can't decide between these two figures, I think you'd be happy with both. This figure still holds up pretty well. I still really like it. The head sculpt is pretty good. The rooted hair, if you can make it look nice, I think looks good, but so much easier to manage over here, and just a better likeness and better figure overall. So I would recommend the endgame version. hopefully Hot Toys will release a original Avengers re-release of this figure. I could totally see that happening. So with that said, stay tuned to the channel. I do have a lot of content coming up. I have a couple videos that are almost ready for later on this week, as well as some music showcases of the figures you're seeing and Mandalorian, as I mentioned. So make sure to subscribe. Stay tuned. The winner, and I still love this figure, but not winner. And as I always say, enjoy the path of collecting, and I'll catch you guys next time.